and I hope that more will jump on the bandwagon here. The $2.6 billion in damages, that's B with a B, billion with a B, in damages sought would be the largest in the history of the U.S. pet food industry, said one of the partners at Wolf Haldenstein. In addition to Hills, which is a subsidiary of Colgate-Palmolive Company, defendants include a group of academic veterinarians, we know who you are, and organizations with financial ties to the company, according to the release from the lawyers. Named in the suit are Hills, the Morris Animal Foundation, the Mark Morris Institute, and 5 veterinarians. Yeah. Colgate-Palmolive has not yet responded publicly to the suit. We'll update the story as we learn more.
Can you repeat the name of the suit? YouTube lags.
Oh, YouTube is lagging. The name of the suit is Hills accused of coordinated scheme to convince consumers that grain-free pet food increases the risk of dilated cardiomyopathy. So this was filed by Keto Natural Pet Foods. So the suit was filed in U.S. District Court for the District of Kansas on February 6th. More from the release. The scheme allegedly involved a wide range of malfeasance committed by the defendants, most notably fraudulently misrepresenting case data about DCM to the United States FDA. The FDA spent more than 5 years conducting a widely publicized investigation into a potential association between grain-free dog foods and DCM, only to suspend further investigation updates last year after announcing that it had not found sufficient data to establish a relationship between DCM and the products under investigation. Where have I heard that before? Oh, by the way, for all of you who are out there writing those blogs saying that I'm 100% wrong about DCM, have at it. We'll screenshot those tomorrow. Don't worry, they're all in a file. You'll be hearing from someone. It's okay. All right. The suit alleges that the FDA's DCM investigation was fraudulently induced by Hills-affiliated veterinarians at Tufts University. Enjoy the publicity, folks. And other major research institutions, all of which have received extensive funding from Hills-affiliated entities. The veterinarians allegedly caused the FDA to take drastic action by flooding the agency with hundreds of DCM case reports that were intentionally chosen to overrepresent the commonality of grain-free diets among dogs suffering from the disease. The FDA's investigation received major media coverage in 2018 and 2019, sparking a panic over DCM that caused the market for grain-free pet foods to drop by billions of dollars. The suit alleges that Hills and its co-conspirators then stoked the panic by making false statements about the scientific evidence surrounding DCM, both to the veterinary community, who jumped on it like white on rice, folks, and the general public, as well as by manipulating the language of academic papers, using front organizations to hide undisclosed payments to veterinary researchers, and creating Facebook groups and websites to amplify misinformation and suppress dissent. Man, this is exactly what's been happening to us with a lot of censorship with different things and what we're allowed to say and not say. According to the lawsuit, this scheme produced a shocking financial windfall for Hills, a company that had been steadily losing market share to grain-free competitors in the years preceding the controversy. Where have I heard that before? In the 4 years immediately preceding the launch of the FDA's investigation, Hills lost 20% of its market share. Well, let's see. Then they also had a real big problem with some vitamin D recalls. They also have a lawsuit ongoing about prescription diets. Nothing to see here. In the 5 years since the investigation began, Hills has been the fastest growing pet food company in the country. Even though a bunch of animals died from vitamin D toxicity and there was a huge recall. they're still the fastest growing. Why? The case was filed on behalf of Keto Natural Pet Foods, a Utah-based pet food startup that specializes in manufacturing low-carbohydrate dog food products, keto diets for pets with cancer, by the way. The suit alleges that Keto Natural is one of the many smaller pet food brands that were damaged by the false association between its products and DCM. Evidence submitted as part of the new suit shows that many Keto Natural customers stopped feeding the company's products to their dogs after being told by veterinarians that the products have been shown to raise the risk of canine DCM. With no proof. Sorry, that's my editorial comment. According to Mr. Burt, pet food brands such as Keto Natural are just one of several discrete groups that have been harmed by Hills and its co-conspirators. We know that boutique pet food retailers and pet owners around the country were also damaged by the false idea that grain-free pet foods increase the risk of canine DCM. As we continue to investigate potential claims against Hills and its co-conspirators, we urge anyone who believes they have been harmed by the misconduct described in the suit to contact our offices. By the way, if you own a pet store, if you're one of those indies, if you own a raw food company, if you're a pet owner who was talked into feeding subpar, aka prescription or feed grade ingredient foods when you were feeding a high grade pet food, you are entitled to join this. The name of the company is Wolf, Haudenstein, Adler, Freeman, and Hertz, LLP. So, Susan Thixton was nice enough to jump in on this one today. Love her. The legal complaint filed in Kansas on February 6th is 124 pages of scathing evidence against Hills Pet Food, the Morris Animal Foundation, the Mark Morris Institute, Dr. Lisa Freeman from Tufts, Dr. Joshua Stern, Dr. Darcy Aiden, and others claiming all were involved in an egregious, wide-ranging, and damaging campaign of coordinated, for-profit, faux scientific misinformation by a large corporation to make veterinarians and pet owners, falsely per the lawsuit, believe grain-free pet foods were dangerous and linked to canine heart disease. Quote, using the tools of professional science and Hill's vast veterinary influence network, the goal of the scheme was to persuade American pet owners that grain-free diets weren't just fad diets, but actually dangerous, Lordy B, for dogs. An argument that, if successful, had the potential to eradicate the entire grain-free sector of the pet food market. And guess what? Raw feeding and a lot of the gently cooked foods fall under grain-free because we know that our dogs don't need grains, or our cats. Oh my God, cats, they're obligate carnivores. Still in the quotes, they have been carrying out this wide-ranging scheme ever since, and it has been by any measure a breathtaking, yes, breathtaking, because I see it in every cardiology report, if unlawful, success. Okay, the lawsuit complaint introduces the case with this information. Quote, Hills is unique among these three so-called traditional pet food companies for three different reasons. First, it's the smallest of the three. So three traditional, the biggies are Mars and Purina. So Hills is the smallest of the three. Its annual revenues dwarf those of most other pet food brands, but they are only about 20% of Purina's revenues. So we know that was posted recently that Purina's pet food revenues are about 19.7 billion a year. Mars is 19.6 billion, or close to that, and Hills is like 3.7 billion. Second, as by far the largest maker of prescription-only diets in the country, and as the self-proclaimed #1 vet-recommended brand, Hills is tied much more closely to the veterinary community than either Mars or Purina. I'm not sure I agree with that based on the hate mail I'm getting. For Mars and Purina, marketing to vets and distributing through vet clinics are both relatively inconsequential parts of their sprawling companies. That's changing. For Hills, they are a major component of the business. The third thing that makes Hills unique among the three traditional pet food companies is its uniquely poor financial performance in the years leading up to 2018, when the misconduct at the heart of this suit began. During this period, the market for pet foods made by non-traditional, often independent brands was growing explosively. For example, from 2011 to 2017, sales of grain-free dog foods, a leading category among independent makers, rose from 15% to 44% of all dog food sales in America pet specialty stores. That's a huge piece of the market. Purina was so large and diversified that it weathered this storm successfully, growing steadily and preserving its market share from 2014 to 2017. But Hill's did not. Over the same 4-year period, Hill's annual revenues were pancake flat and its market share plunged by more than 20%. Long the third largest seller of complete diet dog food in the country, Hill's fell to fourth in 2018 after being overtaken by Blue Buffalo, the largest of the new wave of non-traditional pet food brands. Thus, beginning no later than 2018, Hill's and a cluster of associated entities and individuals, collectively with Hill's, the defendants, embarked on a drastic and unlawful course to reverse this slide. They carried out a scheme to falsely convince American dog owners that a massive, unrelated, and hugely diverse group of dog food products, essentially any product made by any of the hundreds of independent firms that were collectively eroding Hill's market share, all increase the risk and severity of a deadly canine heart disease called DCM. This is still quoting from the lawsuit. To carry out the scheme, Hill's, along with a group of closely bound academic veterinarians, the Veterinarian defendants, and front organizations operating on Hill's behalf, acted in a coordinated conspiracy. First and most exclusively, the Veterinarian defendants fraudulently induced the United States FDA to launch a high-profile investigation into DCM. The second strand of the defendant's scheme, Hill's co-conspirators, the Veterinarian defendants, authored study after study about DCM and then mischaracterized the findings. Want to talk about cherry picking? Those of you writing those horrible blogs about me? The defendants also created and fostered social media environments, including at least one Facebook group that was an echo chamber, suppressing any contradiction of the propaganda campaign. And I looked that one up today. They've got 132,000 people on there. And then this lawsuit proceeds to provide detail after detail to how the defendants allegedly fabricated the entire grain-free pet food link to canine heart disease scheme, such as Part 1, the cherry-picking scheme. Defendants fraudulently induced the FDA to launch a high-profile investigation into grain-free diets and canine dilated cardiomyopathy. Quoting, significantly, 23 of the 28 canine cases in this report, or more than 80%, came from either Dr. Freeman or Dr. Aiden. Just 5 came from sources other than these defendants in a nation with 70 million dog owners. And only 28 case reports. But this is a national epidemic. Okay, Dr. Freeman and Dr. Aiden deliberately and intentionally chose an unrepresentative group of cases to show the FDA. They did this by cherry-picking DCM cases, not me, them, involving grain-free diets and submitting those to the FDA while simultaneously withholding cases involving grain-containing diets. The lawsuit included this image of an email from Dr. Freeman to FDA regarding her protocol to submit DCM cases to FDA. Note the second bullet. So this is the recommended DCM protocol 62718. Collect a complete diet history form on all patients at every visit. Exact diet, treats, table food, rawhides, chews, supplements, and foods used for medication administration. Thank you. 2, if patient is eating any diet besides those made by well-known, reputable companies, or if eating a boutique exotic ingredient or grain-free, aka bag diet, 1, have the owner save all current foods they're feeding, including bags, cans, or other packaging. 2, report the case to the FDA. The FDA website includes other useful tips for suspected important information for pet food complaints. So that they were instructed to only report animals who were eating bag diets. If they were eating something made by Purina, Hill's, or Mars, don't report it. Nothing to see here. Yeah, cherry picking much? The lawsuit continues. In other words, under the protocol that Dr. Freeman established, an FDA report should only be submitted if a DCM positive dog was not eating one of the core products made by either Hill's or one of the other 2 largest and best established manufacturers in the country. Freeman's own protocol establishes that she cherry-picked her sample in a way that would create the impression of a connection between smaller brands products and DCM, whether grain-free or not. Okay, the above is only a small part of a very detailed lawsuit. It includes a wealth of information, evidence. I'm gonna have to read the whole thing. Do I have anything to do this weekend? Evidencing the many involved and why they are involved in the claims scheme. It includes damning information about the influence of pills with veterinary schools, information on Dr. Freeman's similar attack on raw pet food, and so much more. To read the full complaint, go to Susan Thixton's Truth About Pet Food blog today. She has a click here, and we can go read, 122 pages for fun and enjoyment. I just might have to do that. The lawsuit is a class action, but the only plaintiff mentioned is Keto Natural Pet Foods, Inc. The suit is seeking lost profits, reputational damages. Hello, I should jump on board this too, because my reputation, there's a lot of people out there saying that I cherry-picked DCM information. Hello, no, I'm just smart enough to know that this was crap from the beginning. So the suit is seeking lost profits, reputational damages, and other economic injuries in amount exceeding $2 billion. Precise amount to be proven at trial. God, I hope it's more. Personal opinion from Susan. This lawsuit took courage to file. Filing any lawsuit against big pet food giants is not a simple matter. This lawsuit gives us hope that manufacturers and veterinary scientists will, in the future, think twice before participating in potential schemes to defraud the public. Hidden secrets can become public knowledge when determined individuals have the courage and endurance to keep digging for the evidence. Kudos to Keto Natural Pet Foods for their determination. We will continue to watch this lawsuit closely. Okay, that brings us to the current pet food situation that we are dealing with. So I've got the stats here from the original FDA announcement, where's my camera, about DCM. They had a total of 515 cases of DCM reported. 452 were eating dry kibble, 24 were eating multiple forms of food, 26 unknown, 9 raw, 1 home cooked, 1 refrigerated, 1 semi-moist, and 1 tubbed. So mostly dry kibble. And then they went on to, so 515, remember that number. Then they went on, where's my camera? Down here to give us this bar graph. And this bar graph is really cool because they name names. So the first one on the bar graph, let me enlarge this, 67 cases of dilated cardiomyopathy eating Akana, 64 Signature, 53 Taste of the Wild, 32 For Health, 32 Earthborn Holistic, 31 Blue Buffalo, and it goes down. And the last half of the chart, they called them out by name if there were 10 reports. So Rachel Ray Nutrish, Nutro, Nutrisource, Nature's Variety, Origin, 12 or less. Now, in the current pet food situation, where I have said we have a problem and everyone else is saying nothing to see here, we have 1,300 consumer reports on our survey, and the Saving Pets One at a Time Facebook page in 5 weeks has grown from 20,000 people to 110,000 people. That's 100,000 people who are saying there's something to see here. But no, with enough influence, you can get 500 complaints and you can post it for the world to see, and you can have companies lose billions of dollars. Or somebody who doesn't have some big pet food behind them. And for those of you who are saying, I don't know anything about nutrition, I got initials behind my name. They may not be the initials you want, but I've got a lot of education and a lot of experience in the pet food field. So up yours. This is the kind of crap that has been coming into my inbox. Well, first there was the death threat because, people are just crazy. They're so attached to their pet food that it's worth saying, you don't want people coming to your house to take out your family. Like, really? What the heck is wrong with you? And then this one takes the case, and I'm going to name your name, not today, but when this is all said and done, I am throwing you under the bus. You're probably not watching this because not today. Dear Judy, this probably is no longer your email address. It is. But I wanted to tell you how ashamed I am of your role in this scandal. It would be the truth, but it's a scandal. As your classmate, veterinary, I will tell you that you are damaging the entire veterinary profession with this nonsense. 1,300 on our survey, 100,000 on a Facebook page with complaints of my pet died. My pet has bloody vomiting and diarrhea. My pet has seizures. No, not a rumor. I dare anyone saying this is a rumor and that we are wrong to say that to the face, eye to eye, in person, to someone who lost 26 cats eating the same food, to someone who lost 3 out of their 5 dogs eating the same food. The 2 that didn't eat it didn't die. Say that to their face. Say it with a straight face. And if you have zero compassion, then you don't belong to have animals or talk to other people. Let's learn empathy and compassion, people, and let's look for the truth. If you don't start asking questions, you will never find the truth. So yay to the people at Keto Natural for doing this. Vindication right there. 515 cases caused FDA to throw all those companies under the bus. If you are a company or a pet parent or a pet store owner who was damaged, jump on board that lawsuit. Jump on that bandwagon, because we need to put a stop to this kind of crappy influence where they think that they are bigger than the rest of us and that they have enough money to wield their influence. You know what? It's a David versus Goliath. And you know what? I'm not backing down. And karma's a horrible thing. I'm speaking the truth only because I care. I don't make money off of this. I'm not going for likes and clicks. I don't care. If you don't like what I'm saying, don't follow me. Unclick. It'll make my numbers go down. Yay, you win. Okay, supporters, I'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight. I might need a drink after this. Actually, I'm going to go home and I'm going to meditate. I'm going to put on my headphones and I'm going to meditate. I might even do a little exercise, a little strength training. Anyway, everybody have a wonderful weekend. By the way, I've slept better this week than I have in my life. Because when you tell the truth and God is on your side and the truth is on your side, it's all good. No matter how it turns out, I'm speaking the truth. I didn't make this stuff up. People are reporting, and I'm reporting what people are reporting. I didn't make it up. I'm just a reporter. I'm no different than any other reporter. Just reporting the facts, ma'am.